It is live.
Live?
You know, Amala, me and my wife, we've actually been trying to do lunges together.
Wow, Will. You know, that sounds like a really large step forward.
Thank you.
You know, Will, I was in court the other day. This drunk man walks in, and the judge says to him, "Sir, you are here for drinking." He looks at the judge and he says, "Great, let's get started."
You guys are so funny. I love telling dad jokes. Sometimes he even laughs.
Oh!
All right, you have two choices.
Two choices.
Your wife and your lawyer are both drowning. So golf or a movie? These are so good.
We are so funny.
We are so funny. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to our live stream. Today we didn't do an accent or impression. We did, I guess, bad jokes.
Comedy.
So you're welcome. I mean, the whole show is a comedy show, but this is specific for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Just a reminder for all of you guys, we have a survey in the comments or in the caption of this video. It is for us to know your guys' feedback about the show. We really hope that you fill out the survey. Let us know what you think, how many times you watch the show every week, what you learn from the show, any notes, if you would like to see the show continue, which I hope you all do. And it really helps us out. So guys, go to the survey. Taylor's going to drop the link in the captions right now too for all you guys watching live. And if you're not watching live, it is going to be in the caption of the post so you can go and fill out this survey. Thank you so much, guys. Remember, we go live every single weekday at 2:30 p.m. PST. That's 5:30 p.m. Eastern.
Ooh, that we do.
That we do.
It was a mouthful.
Oh, it is a mouthful. Let's get into this first story.
Let's get into
Shall
it.
we?
Yes. Please.
All right. So this first story today is from a New York City thing where a psychoanalyst calls whiteness incurable parasitic-like condition.
Parasitic.
It's inside of you, destroying your body.
That is so interesting. Yeah, so if you guys are not keeping up with this was a study that came out that was published by this New York psychoanalyst who says that whiteness is a parasitic condition of which has no cure.
It doesn't have a cure.
It doesn't have a cure.
I've been trying to cure my whiteness for years
There's
now.
no permanent cure, which
No
sounds
permanent
awfully
cure.
ominous.
Yeah, seriously. That sounds very eugenic.
Does he need a final solution to our whiteness?
No, seriously, what the hell? All right, so here's the article. A white New York City psychoanalyst is under fire after publishing a report decrying his skin color as a malignant parasitic-like condition without a permanent cure. Dr. Donald Moss, a published author who teaches at the New York Psychoanalytic Institute, published on having whiteness last month in the Journal of the American Psychoanalytic Association. Whiteness is a condition one first acquires and then one has. What?
You acquire it and then you have it, apparently.
You're born with it. You're born being white. What do you mean? It's not like it's something you catch. You don't catch the white.
Apparently it's some sort of abstract condition now. Very weird.
It's like being like a White Walker in Game of Thrones, like where they turn you into one of these zombies.
You're just a zombie.
Yeah, that's what this is sounding like. A malignant parasitic-like condition to which white people have a particular susceptibility. Wait. So white people can get whiteness? So whiteness is something that is separate than being white.
Right, you can acquire it.
What does that mean?
Like Amala suffers from whiteness because she acts white and thinks objectively according to their weird worldview.
Right.
This just means being a conservative.
It really does.
It's like anytime you're a conservative in whatever race you are, whether you're gay, trans, whatever, and you think that you're a conservative and you say conservative things, you're seen as white. That's like the label that they put on it. If you have a different point of view than the leftist mainstream agenda, then you're white.
It amazes me that he got published in this journal, a very reputable psychoanalytic journal, and they have published his study and his abstract and what he believes to be the parasitic condition of whiteness. It's insane, and it is very reminiscent of Nazi Germany.
The condition is foundational, generating characteristic ways of being in one's body, in one's mind, and in one's world. Parasitic whiteness renders its hosts' appetites voracious, insatiable, and perverse, states the paper.
Is that your David Attenborough voice?
No, that's just like some British guy. I don't know. This guy's from New York. I should do a New York accent. But it just makes it seem like it's some dumb European thing.
No, it's definitely an effort to dehumanize white people. It's very, very clear. To say that you are somehow a host to a parasite of which has no permanent cure, that's dehumanizing. It's insane.
It's talking about appetites voracious, insatiable, and perverse. What appetite are you talking about? An appetite for hurting black people? An appetite for hurting people who aren't white? I don't understand.
It's like the more abstractly you talk about these things, the easier it is for it to float under the radar and you to get away with being racist towards people. And that's exactly what this is.
Hey, they try and make their racism in a veil of scientific evidence,
right.
Scientific findings, or sociology, all of these different dumb things that people learn in college and think they're so smart. Like, I'll debate people on the streets, or like talking to people out there, and I'll be talking to them about racism stuff, or police brutality, or any of the, or white privilege, and they'll be like, yeah, I'm a sociology major, or I'm an English major, or, you know, I human theory genus, basket weaving, whatever it is. They'll like say all these things thinking that makes them smart at all.
Right.
It's like that actually makes you more dumb. The fact that you did those classes and absorbed the information that they teach you in those college classes about sociology and racism makes you more uneducated than someone who didn't take those classes.
Right, and people are waking up to this, at least people who have seen this study and read it. One person is quoted here by saying, I was skeptical, so I looked it up. And yeah, this is real. And now I want to throw out my psychology degree into the garbage.
Good. I mean, seriously, I mean, if this is what you should be, if you're being taught in schools, then you should throw your degree away, essentially. I mean, if this is what you were taught, then you are not fit to be a psychologist. No. If you think that this is actual science, then, or psychoanalysis on people, then you shouldn't be allowed to be a psychologist or psychiatrist.
And it goes to show this fallacy of using some perceived authority by saying, oh, I have a degree in this, does absolutely nothing. This man is a psychoanalyst. He has degrees in psychology, psychiatry, and he's published a study saying that whiteness is a parasitic condition. It just goes to show that your degree really means absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. This one says, well, effective treatment. I need to be treated for my whiteness.
Right.
Imagine if I wrote a paper that said, Amala, you need to be treated for your blackness.
Yeah, he would be killed. Somebody would kill him. Somebody would kill him.
Yeah, I would not do very well in America right now. But you can say it about white people and it's totally fine. But if you say something about any other race, any other protected class, whatever it is, then it's like the worst thing in the world. And I'm not saying that you should say that. You shouldn't say this about any sort of race, right, or a different class of person. This is a horrible thing to say. It just the hypocrisy of being able to say it about white people and not about other races is strange. Unless you really think that white people are a different species of human or something, right, which is what this sounds like. It makes it seem like white people are a different type of humans. I thought we were all one species, the human race, that we all work together, have the same values, and can create a society like that. Not that one race is above or different than another in terms of IQ or incurability or any of these other factors. This is like eugenics. That's like what this is like.
This is eugenics. This is the precursor to that sort of conversation. And for people who see this and think, oh, well, this man's just crazy. He's so extreme. This is insane. This is actually utterly unbelievable, and this is becoming commonplace in the way that people think, especially on the left. It's no surprise that this man is a leftist, and he has failed to make any comments about this study being published, and although the New York Post specifically has reached out to him multiple times and he has made no comment.
It's like they're back in like Nazi Germany and all these other places. Right. There were all these scientists who worked in the Nazi party and all these people who wrote like real scientific things about Jewish people and gypsies and gay people, about how terrible they are and how like they could back it up with science. That is literally what this sounds like. You know, and I don't like to use hyperbole to say that you know, this is comparing it to the Holocaust or anything like that. I don't think we're at that place yet with anything like this. I don't want to be taken out of context. But what I will say is that some of the language within this is reminiscent of those types of things.
Yeah, and it does say a lot about the state of like academia and even our media right now, that the standards have gone so low for what like the fact that a respected academic journal published this study and took it seriously, and they're actually putting their seal of approval saying this is thoughts that we're contributing, or this is an actual contribution to the field. That's insane, because it's literally just laced with racism, and it's faux science. It's not even rooted in reality. It denies, like this whole critical race theory, the style of thinking denies objectivity and calls that whiteness. And what is science if not objectivity?
Right. They're no longer pursuing objectivity. They can be subjective. They can push their agenda. They can do what they want, and they can do it through reputable scientific journals. And that's why you should always question whatever it is you're reading nowadays, because all of these things have these underlying agendas and these underlying goals that they have. And it's not based in science whatsoever. It's not based in truth.
If you don't know the answer to something, just message Amala and I on Instagram, and we'll let you know the answers. And follow us, too. You have to be following us. At the Will Wit, at the Amala Epinobi. Follow us there. If you need help spelling Amala's last name, it's in the comments.
He's like, I'm not going to do it for you.
I have to ask her like almost every time how I spell her
that silent
last
K
name,
gets you every time.
Yeah, right?
Silent K. It's a silent killer,
silent
if you
killer.
will.
Yeah.
Wow.
Where's the old...
Bringing the dad jokes back.
On that one.
I want to bring up one last point in this article before we move on.
Sure.
But in his bio for the American Psychoanalytic Association, he said his work from the mid-1980s has been trying to understand and dismantle structured forms of hatred, racism, homophobia, misogyny, and xenophobia. All the buzzwords in there since the 1980s. This guy's been working on it. But there's something special about this that you'll see with all these leftists and people who talk about this. I don't... You know, in my work as a conservative and a political commentator and cultural commentator, author, whatever that I do, I've never like come up and said that I'm fighting against racism and xenophobia and homophobia and misogyny. I don't put that at the forefront. Like I say, I fight for good ideas. Obviously, good ideas are against those kind of things. But I never put that at the forefront of what I'm doing, saying like, this is what I stand for super, super hard. It's like conservatives don't usually do that. It seems to be a leftist thing. And the thing that the leftists do with it is that they disguise evil things that they're doing in a shroud of goodness. And so they say that they're fighting against racism. They say they're fighting against homophobia. And it's like, you're fighting against racism? Did you see this study that you put out? This weird abstract about anti-whiteness in here, saying that we're less people essentially? Like, what are you saying? So people throughout history, it's like Nazis, right? Like, I'm sure that there were Nazis who were in Nazi Germany, who in their own personal lives had a good family, you know, they had kids, they provided in terms of a job for their family, something like that, right? But they were doing something evil. These Nazis were evil, but they had been convinced that the evil things that they were doing were actually good. And so we're seeing that right now with the left, and the left is brainwashing people to believe that evil things and anti-American sentiments are actually good when they are not.
Yeah, it's true. And this guy, as he's written here, has dedicated his life to deconstructing and breaking down hatred, racism, homophobia, misogyny, and xenophobia. Do those words have a race attached to them? Because if that's your goal, publishing some study about whiteness has nothing to do with that. You're actually achieving the exact same opposite. As Will just said, these words and these characteristics do not have a race attached to them. You can be racist and be any color. You can be homophobic and be any color. You can be xenophobic and be any color. Yet in this country, we have attached it to whiteness.
Dr. Donald Moss, I don't know what you're thinking writing this article, thinking you're not racist. And let's look at his face again.
He needs to be fired.
Yeah.
He needs to be fired.
Yeah. And he's white, which is also telling. It's always like, it's all the other white people. Not me. It's the other white people. You know, I'm a good white person.
I'm an ally.
Yeah, I'm an ally, okay? I'm anti-racist. Not just anti-racist, I'm anti-racist. That's like how these people think that they are. Like some white knight coming in and saving the minorities.
Oh, yeah,
like,
and he'll sit here.
We don't want you.
Yeah, and he'll tell you, oh, well, I recognize my white privilege, and I recognize that even though I say I'm not a racist, and even though I work to be anti-racist, I still have unconscious biases towards other people of color.
It's literally like a religion, and this whole thing there's a Marxist idea called critical consciousness that's like they see themselves as awakened to the evils of the world, and they know all the buzzwords, and then you start getting deeper and deeper into this little closed worldview. It's an ideology, it's a closed system of thinking, and unless you say all their words and play by their rules and see the world how they do it, you're not awakened, you're not critically conscious. So you can be the white person who's out there posturing but saying all the other white people, they haven't been awakened to the truth, they're not woke like me, and therefore they're wrong and they're evil, but I can high and mighty, and I can do it because I've been awakened.
Right. It's so condescending, first of all, and you use the exact right word when you say religion. As much as the left says that they're secular and atheist and that they don't have a true God, Dennis will say this: they have a religion of which has more sins than any other religion known to man. There are so many eggshells you have to step on to be a leftist, and it's unbelievable. I don't even know how they do it at this point. I don't know how I did it for a few years, and it's just crazy. It is, in fact, a religion. It's a cult.
You're brainwashed.
You are.
Yeah. And it's funny because Karl Marx, talking about Marx, Karl Marx said in the Communist Manifesto that religion is the opium of the masses, which is quite ironic now, seeing that leftism and his ideas have become the dominant religion in this country now.
Right.
That's how it always goes.
And it's infiltrating all of academia. I think nearly all of our stories are focused around academia today and the infiltration of leftist ideology. So
So what should they do if they're a parent or educator?
You should join PragerU Prep.
Yes, you should.
Will and I actually just filmed a video for PragerU Prep this morning.
It was very fun. We got to eat strawberries with whipped cream, which is always fun for me.
We did some kids content, and it was a 4th of July base, so that'll be coming out very, very soon. But if you are a parent or an educator who is struggling with this sort of indoctrination, critical race theory, gender theory, these studies about whiteness being a parasitic condition, you can join PragerU Prep. That is at prageru.com/prep, and it will give you resources for your kids. It'll give you resources as an educator that are completely unbiased, just true, factual American history, math, science, anything that you might need.
Yes. Please check it out. All right, we want to show you this ad that Taylor and I wrote.
It's a great ad.
Yeah, I'm the star. I'm playing both roles. If you guys ever saw the old Mac vs. PC ads, then you might recognize this format that we have going on here. I mean, already, me in this bike helmet and swim floaty is enough to make anyone laugh. But just you wait, okay? It'll be like dad jokes all over
It gets
again.
even better.
But wait. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm a university education, and I'm PragerU. What's with the pool floaty? Oh, this is my safe space. It protects me from danger. Danger? Yeah, like ideas or perspectives that aren't approved by the mainstream media or my professors. You have to be protected from ideas? By a pool floaty? If something challenges my point of view, I just retreat to my safe space and say that I'm offended. That way, I never get brainwashed by people with dangerous ideas that want to control my mind. Have you ever wondered that it's maybe the people who are telling you need a safe space that are actually trying to brainwash you? You can't ask me that. I'm in my safe space.
Nice.
Wow.
So cute.
It's such a good ad.
That was
really
amazing.
good. That
So,
was amazing.
Our CMO wants to put that on CNN, and if you guys think
Hell
that's a
yeah.
good idea, let us know in the comments.
Spam in the comments.
Give us a lot of comments and help us persuade the powers that be that we should do that.
You have to say Craig is pale and put that ad on CNN. Okay?
Yes.
Craig is the one who controls this. So we
at least want to try and then try to buy their ad space because CNN's struggling right now, guys. It's tough.
pretty
times
cheap
out
to
there.
get ads on there.
Yeah, so it's cheap to buy. So we kind of want to support them, help them out.
Yeah.
But even
Charity
some charity for CNN. But even if they deny us, we can make a big campaign out of it and say you guys are suppressing us anyway. So either way, it's a win-win.
I would love to get that ad on CNN.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
That would be
That'd
fantastic.
be a dream.
I know. Then we could be playing in every single airport and gym locker room.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Then we would need you guys wherever you are across the country to, if your gym's playing CNN or if you're walking in the airport and you see a PragerU ad on there, you just post that on social media and tag us and we'll repost it. It's so fun, right?
Let's trigger some
If y'all think that's a good
lefties.
idea, let us know.
Yeah, and also if you're filling out the survey and you think that's a good idea, make sure that we have the survey that's in the caption. We have the survey if you're not watching this live, and then also the survey. Taylor's going to post it in the comments right now so you guys can click it, which is the survey where you guys let us know what you think of the show, how often you watch. We really appreciate it, guys. I hope that you fill out this survey. It means a lot to us.
Yes, it does.
Means a lot to me, specifically.
And me, specifically.
Well, me more.
Pacifically, it means a lot to me.
Pacifically and Atlantically, it means a lot to me.
Indianically.
Yeah. All right. Arctically. All right.
Okay.
All right. Next
Had
story.
to finish it.
Yes. I couldn't let you have
Last
the last word. Okay. All right. Here we got another story, which is from the Daily Wire, where a survivor of Mao's China stuns school board with chilling warning about critical race theory. So a Chinese woman who suffered under the brutal communist China regime of Mao Zedong vehemently denounced Loudoun County's school board in Virginia for its championing of critical race theory, charging all of this seems very familiar. The only difference is they use class instead of race. So let's play this video. And they always only give them a minute. They should give them longer than a minute. I'd like to see hours of this stuff.
I've been very alarmed about what's going on in our school. You are now training our children to be social justice warriors and to loathe our country and our history. Growing up in Mao's China, all this seemed very familiar. The communist regime used the same critical theory to divide people. The only difference is they use class instead of race. During the Cultural Revolution, I witnessed students and teachers turn against each other. We changed school names to be politically correct. We were taught to denounce our heritage. The Red Guards destroy anything that is not communist, old statues, books, and anything else. We are also encouraged to report on each other, just like the Student Equity Ambassador Program and the bias reporting system. This is indeed the American version of the Chinese Cultural Revolution. The critical race theory has its roots in cultural Marxism. It should have no place in our schools.
Woo!
Based.
Oh, I wish I was there for that.
I know. I would have gotten up and just hugged her.
Yeah. Look at all these.
Give her a hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh, Jesus.
Look at all
felt
these
that.
parents and teachers, and they're coming out, and these are specifically the past two that we've done so far have been out of Loudoun County, which I told you guys yesterday on the stream is the county of which school board members and a lot of parents who support critical race theory and this whole anti-racist narrative were making a roster of parents who are anti-CRT and trying to dox them essentially on Facebook.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely wild. And so parents standing up is like the coolest thing ever. It's we're trying actually, the girl who we showed, was it yesterday? Or not the girl, the woman who came on in Loudoun County and spoke out, and they cut her mic and were being very rude to her. We're trying to get her on the show for tomorrow, so hopefully she can respond. I think she's going on Fox News today. You guys might see her. Her name's Lilith, and hopefully she'll come on our show tomorrow. So make sure that you guys tune in for that.
Right.
We'll record that and get that out for you. So it's very cool. But it is starkingly similar. I didn't grow up in communist China or anything like that, so I can't say that everything is the same. There's still a lot of good things that you have here in America, obviously, that they did not have in China in the same way. Okay, so I don't want to again use hyperbole to exaggerate anything, but there are striking similarities, as you can tell. And as someone from who grew up in China during that time, she's even talking about it. So I mean, it's the same thing. Like even with the Second Amendment in China, they took away citizens' guns.
Right.
What do they want to do here in America? They want to take away your Second Amendment.
Right.
They want to take away your right to own firearms. It's the exact same thing that happened in communist China, and then millions of people died.
I mean, I'm of the persuasion that it's okay to make these comparisons. I think they're apt comparisons. I think they're accurate comparisons. You can honestly draw the lines here. You see it time and time again. She makes the comparison to Mao's China. You can make the same comparison with how we're treating people based on race and based on their gender now, as you could as Stalin in the dekulakization in the early 1900s. It's the exact same thing, pitting people against one class or one subset of people, attacking them, dehumanizing them, and then we all know where that leads. So it's an apt comparison to make.
Yeah, it definitely is. So if you're someone who sees what is going on, you should be like this lady, going out there and standing up for it. Don't be weak. I'm tired of weak people. We don't want weak people watching this stream either. If you're watching this stream and you see evil happening, you need to go and call it out. You need to call out evil, especially if it's like your parents, your kid's school or something, and you're seeing them teach CRT or transgender stuff and pushing them into it, any of that kind of stuff. You're just going to let your kid learn it and say, oh well, doesn't, whatever. I'm not going to say anything because I live a comfortable life in the suburbs and I don't want to say anything. It's like, screw that. Get out there, go to the school board meetings. You can be doing the same thing that these moms and other people are doing. Yeah. You can do the exact same thing. Nothing is stopping you. The only thing that's stopping you is your fear of what the left will think about you.
Right.
Who cares what the left thinks about you? Think about what conservatives will think about you and what America will think about you when they see that you're standing up for its values.
Sure.
Think more about what the truth is and and that the truth is worth standing up for and fighting for. And it's more important than ever now for everyday people, for parents, for teachers, for whoever, wherever you are in life that comes across this, even if it's your own social media page, it's important to use your voice and speak out, because if you don't, who will? The left is pushing this radical ideology as like a cloud that's just going further and further over America. And if we need more and more people to push back and shine a light on it.
Right. And we understand that it's scary. We understand that there are ramifications that come along with speaking out that a lot of people don't want to deal with. You will be, exiled, a lot of you from your communities. Some of you may lose your jobs. There are actual ramifications that come with speaking out. But you have to really do a risk assessment here. That's one thing that you risk. Some heat from your community, people not wanting to talk to you. Maybe you're not the most liked at the PTA meetings anymore. But on the other end of things, if you do not speak out and if you do not encourage others to do the same, you run the risk of losing America.
Yeah.
You run the risk of losing everything that has ever made this country great. And what really put it in perspective for me is that kids being born now into this country, if we do not do anything, they will never, ever experience America the way it was meant to be experienced. And that relies solely on parents, on adults who are able to voice and understand the true risk of what is going on right now and to fight back against it. That is what you run the risk of.
Like, are you really more worried about Betty 3 doors down with her weird kid who makes terrible cookies and her opinion about you more than your kids, what the things they're being taught in school and horrible things, leftist things being taught? Like, you care more about that?
Right.
What you shouldn't. You shouldn't care about what these other people think about you, especially if they're losers trying to push you to be a loser and not speak out.
Yeah.
You need to be stronger than them. You need to be stronger than them at all times.
Our kids deserve to experience America the way it was meant to be experienced.
Yeah. And conservatives bake better stuff anyway. Conservatives are better bakers, you know?
Because leftist women don't get in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's right. Well, might learn something if they went there.
But no, seriously, we've had conversations, me and Amala, because I'm like millennial, smack dab in the middle. I'm 30 now.
Right.
You're 20 and about to be 21.
About to be.
Happy birthday.
But like, I feel bad for you and your generation, because I feel like I grew up in a different America where the pre-wokeness, where that was really a thing, and that like the world still kind of made sense. People were still generally kind of nice to each other. We lived in the same reality. We had a shared reality that was based in objectivity and facts. And if somebody had a logical argument that was better than yours, you kind of acknowledge that. And now we live in this pseudo reality that's just this insane different world. And that's kind of the world that your generation is experiencing. And I want to fight back. I want you to experience America the way it was meant to be experienced, and experience the real world in real life, and not in this, psycho radical Marxist worldview that's being pushed.
Right. And it pains me to think about how many years it's going to take to get out of this hole that we're in right now. I would agree with you, Taylor. I don't think I've ever experienced America the way it was meant to be experienced, which is a sad thing to say. It's a sad thing to even think about, but it puts everything in perspective. And if you have kids, or going to have kids, you should want them to have that experience, and you should fight for them to have that experience.
100%. And we got some more for you today. This is funny because we actually, was this yesterday that we showed this video?
This was yesterday that we showed this guy, I believe.
I think it was 2 days ago.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, 2 days ago. All right, if you guys were watching the stream 2 days ago, something like that. 2 days ago, we had a professor who we showed a video of, who came on and was basically talking about how whiteness is also horrible and all of that, and that, you need to have these conversations, and if you're not having those conversations, you're a bigot, basically. So now we're back in his class. Okay, I don't know if it's the same recording or not. I think it's the same. And now
it's,
I don't know.
It's hard to think when you're not taught, when you're taught critical race theory all your whole education, and it's just,
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say maybe it's because he's nervous that he's being pressed for his whiteness.
I don't want to just call him out for that. I'm just speaking of a broader problem. I don't want to call this guy specifically, but a broader problem is you can tell when people talk a certain way that they usually are a certain way. Okay, let's keep going.
I don't want to say it is what it is, but it doesn't seem like the statistic, it's not changing. It's, I don't know.
Oh, so it's so hard to watch.
Yeah, it's confusing.
It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
And yet it is that way.
Yeah,
and yet you're gonna, when you get your degree, when they hang you your degree, bro, here's Tim, here's your Timothy, what's your last name? Eimer. So they're gonna call your name out, and you're gonna walk across the stage, and it's gonna be Timothy Eimer, and you're gonna walk across the stage, and you're gonna shake a hand. Here, you take that. You're gonna shake the hand. And then you're going to get the degree. You're going to yeah. And your parents are going to cheer or whatever. And you're going to have this degree. And you're going to think, oh, yeah, I fully earned the degree. I got it. And I deserve this. And I deserve everything that comes to it. Yeah, well, you know what? What's your last name, bro? Davis. Davis? Dude, Miles Davis? Oh. Same thing. Miles Davis. And Miles is going to walk across the stage, and he's going to have the same thing. He's going to get the degree and shake a hand and go yeah, and his family's going to cheer. And everyone's going to be you're going to be at graduation, and you're going to assume that these two guys are equal, and they're fucking not equal. It's not. We are not there, my friends. We are not there.
Do you see what a crackpot? This guy, well, that's funny because the guy, he lays out two identical situations.
Right.
And also, I think the guy also expected that the black guy was going to have a very black name or something, the last name, and then it wasn't that, and he was kind of...
My name's Davis. It's Davis.
Yeah. Smith. But it's the guy lays out two actually identical situations.
Right.
You work hard in school, you get your degree, you walk across this thing, you wave your hand, and then your parents are super proud. It was the exact same thing for the white kid and the black kid. And then, which totally contradicts his whole point of saying they are not equal.
Right. And that's what leftists do. It's so crazy. And that's what woke me up, because my whole life I'm like, oh, it's going to be harder for me. I'm a black female. I was told over and over and over, people are going to look at you weird. You're going to get treated differently. It's going to be harder for you to get a job. It's going to be harder for you to get into college, blah, 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 blah. And then you go through life, and I had no problems. I grew up in a very rural, white, conservative county. No problems whatsoever. And I got to the other end, and I'm like, wait a second. I had the same exact experience as every other white person in my school, yet somehow I'm not equal, yet somehow people view me differently, yet somehow this world is racist. It makes no sense.
Let's just look at the three faces on this screen.
Yep.
And right here at the ending, okay? You got the white kid who's
like,
basically
"Ugh,
like,
kill me.
what is going on?
I hate this.
He's like, this is an elective course for me. I don't want to be here. This
Right.
sucks. And then you have the black kid who's kind of like cracking a smile right now because he's like, what is going on? This is very awkward for me.
Right.
And then you have this guy, the professor.
He's on cloud nine.
Who's touching both students over them. Look at that face. Look at how eager he is.
Yeah.
That is an eager beaver.
Yeah.
Right there, ready to just be like, yes, it's so racist and horrible.
Yep.
You guys, I can't even believe you're sitting next to each other right now without clawing each other's eyes out. Isn't that what you really want to do? Don't you hate each other? Look at him.
He's like, I just blew these people's minds.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
I'm so intelligent. I know so much about the socio-political spectrum of being white versus being black, and I'm just so cool, bro.
You want to go to the wokest intro to sociology course ever? Join my class.
No, we were talking about this watching it ahead of time, and this really does feel more like a religious service than it does a lecture at like a respectable academic institution. Like he's not just giving a lecture about some sort of like as an expert in a field. He's literally like preaching this racist ideology that's pitting white students against black students. He's literally preaching the opposite of equality in front of them, and all the students are just sitting there taking it. And I feel bad for this guy. Like the white guy's face. I mean, it's like I feel like he's probably been beat down his whole life with this type of ideas.
I know.
And like you said, the black kid's probably like, man, this is kind of awkward. Like I don't even know. I guess maybe he did something to me. Maybe.
Or like, what if like even like the black kid has better grades than the white kid? And he's graduating like way higher, and this teacher has no idea, and he's just saying this totally based on the color.
Well,
of
he
their skin.
doesn't have any idea. That's the whole point.
Of
It's
course
like he's
he
making
doesn't.
these assumptions, and it's almost racist against the black kid because he's like, oh yeah, you're probably further back than the white kid just because of you're less capable and all this stuff. It's like you need the affirmative action. It's ridiculous.
But what's important is now, okay, these two kids, let's assume that they didn't know each other, all right? The black kid and the white kid. Now imagine if they were to meet each other after this, maybe they have a conversation. Well, I would pay money to see what that conversation would be like.
Right.
How awkward it would be.
Right.
That this professor just told you that you have all these things that this kid doesn't have. Like how does that make you feel as the black kid? How does that make you feel as the white kid? White kid's ashamed, the black kid feels terrible and mad at the world, and now they have to have a conversation together. What do they say together? Can they even be friends after this? No. It's like the world is so racist according to this professor that these two aren't even on the same playing field.
He's quite literally separated the world into black and white.
Yes.
And then told the black person that even though you will achieve the same things as this young man over here, you guys are not equal. How utterly racist is that? I don't understand. And that is the same thing that the left spouts time and time again. It doesn't matter. Let me go ahead and say this right now. It doesn't matter where we get as a society when it comes to a white person and a black person, because we're already there. We're already equal. I can do anything that Will can do. I can do anything that Taylor can do. The left still shouts racism, and apparently I will never be equal within these institutions because they were founded on white supremacy. Therefore, you would have to break down every single American institution, every single American system, every single piece of American legislation to build equality, because they believe the foundation of it is racist. There is no way that we are ever going to achieve anything that the left wants, because they don't truly want anything. They just want to destroy everything.
Destruction is the key. Chaos is the key.
Right.
It's like that paper that we saw at the beginning. The professor was like, I've worked for 30 years on dismantling America and whiteness.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
What did you accomplish in 30 years? Things
Exactly.
are worse than ever because
have
of
you done?
people like you.
Right.
You have exacerbated the problem, not fixed anything.
I think all this just goes to show that right now it's more important than ever to speak out. And I think that's what the China lady, her speech shows us. And then the other two things, the professor's speech and the study show us that it's more important than ever to think for yourself. You can't trust academic journals to be publishing honest information. You can't trust the media to be honest. You can't trust woke Hollywood celebrities to be honest. And you can't trust what's going on in our academic institutions to be honest. And so you have to learn to think for yourself and make your own decisions.
But you know who you can trust? Me. And Amala and Taylor, which is why if you trust us and you enjoy the stream, make sure that you fill out the survey that is in the caption. Guys, just have to remind you one more time.
Right.
Taylor's dropping the comments in the live viewers, and then there's also, if you're not watching this live, there is a survey link in the caption of this post. Really helps us out if you guys go and fill that out. Thank you so much. All right. We got one more thing we want to show you guys today.
Right.
We've been getting in a roll on ending the streams on a high note.
We have.
On something nice.
We have.
Because the streams are usually so depressing.
I enjoy ending them on a high note, giving people a little bit of hope. When all else is lost, there is still hope.
Mm-hmm. What is the Lord of the Rings? I was trying to think of a Lord of the Rings reference. Okay. Anyway, all right. Here you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting tonight's colors is the New York State University Police. And now, please join Nicole Revive as we sing together our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed? Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That is awesome.
Did you
That
get
is
the
great.
chills?
Yeah, it almost makes you speechless in a way.
I know. Makes me want to sing the national anthem.
I know, just right here on the stream.
We'll do that for you guys another time. I'm
Yes,
sure.
we will. Maybe on the 4th of July.
Hockey is the best sport. All right. Hockey is a great sport. I played lacrosse, but that's like hockey on grass. So it's pretty much, it's pretty close. But hockey is a great sport. Can you imagine this happening at like, I don't know, a WNBA game? This would never
Yeah.
happen.
It's just like what a relief this must be. What a weight lifted for these people who are attending this game, which I'm sure many of them haven't been to in a year's time, a year and a half now. And to be around people unmasked, hanging out with fellow Americans, celebrating our country. It's got to be a pretty moving thing to be a part of.
I know. And I'm not a New York Islanders fan. I'm a San Jose Sharks fan for all you hockey people out there. Do you know what that is, Amala?
I do not.
Nashville Predators, baby.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, or Phoenix Coyotes too. I'm an Avalanche fan too, but always been a San Jose Sharks fan since a kid because I liked Sharks.
Nice.
So I thought that was a pretty good mascot.
So you're
to
just
have.
going for the mascot. You don't care about the actual stats
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the team.
Well, I guess I have like we're going a little bit off tangent, but I always like mascots with sea animals. Like I'm a Miami Marlins fan for baseball, and then I'm a Miami Dolphins fan for football, and then I'm a San Jose Sharks fan for
It
hockey.
shows you how much Will actually knows about sports.
No, I know about sports. I'm just
Okay,
saying when I was a kid.
I don't know, man. That's a little sus.
When I was a kid, I chose the ones that I liked based off sea creatures.
Fair enough.
But you
You know?
never like moved on from that and made a more mature assessment of which teams to support. You just stuck with your kid see aquatic animals.
I think that was the most
mascots.
mature thing I could do. I don't think there's any need for
Will
change.
is very stubborn. He sticks
Very
to his
mature.
guns.
Yeah,
So
I don't
guess
change.
It started from an early
So
age.
even if I like no longer like the Miami Marlins, I won't change, but because I've been supporting them for so long that I can't change.
what if they're
now.
like all serial killers or something? You're just going to be like, I got to stick it out for the Marlins.
What kind of stupid question is that?
I don't know. What if they did something really
What if
horrible?
they're all
gonna
team
be
was serial
you think their
killers?
whole
What
team's
if
gonna be
what if it comes out and it's like the Miami Marlins do this crazy hazing scandal?
Maybe if they all kneeled for the
Depending on the
anthem or
scandal.
something, Will would stop supporting them, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If maybe the Miami Marlins do. I don't
Are
know.
they
What
even
if
Miami?
they-
I thought it's Florida Marlins. Or you might
No,
be
it's the
saying
Miami
it wrong.
Marlins.
Are you
What
sure?
if they're like
I'm
the
like
Miami?
I'm like positive it's the Miami Marlins.
What if it's like the Marlins is going to donate 25% of their earnings to transgender organizations?
Listen, I did it with Chipotle. I'll do it with the Miami Marlins.
There
I will
we
stop
go.
supporting them. Is there a basketball team with any fish? I think that there's the Pelicans, but that's not fish. That's an aquatic. I mean, it's an aquatic seabird, but it's not fish
I don't
or
think there's any
aquatic
fish ones.
mammal.
Well, we'll discuss this further after the live.
Our viewership just tanked. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, seriously.
This is really riveting stuff.
So the thing about dolphins. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this stream, make sure you leave it a like, share with your friends, comment your thoughts down below. And we have a survey on here that if you guys enjoyed this stream, please go fill out the survey for us. It means a lot. Even if you are a first-time watcher, go fill out the survey.
Right.
Every single survey thing helps. We have until next week to get all the survey results in, and we want to hear from you guys so that we can continue to make this even better than it already is, and it's already great.
It is already great.
It's already great.
Yeah, it's already the best. Okay, believe me, it is the best live stream.
But before we go
Okay.
to, I wanted to bring up the woke 4th of July songs. We're doing a skit.
Yes.
Yeah, Will, you want to intro that?
Yeah, for any of you guys who are still watching, we are doing a fourth. If you guys saw my Sounds of the Season video where I made woke Christmas songs, this is essentially the duality to that, but it's for 4th of July. So any patriotic American songs that you can think of and turn it into a woke version, drop it in the comments down below. Let us know if you have any ideas for woke American songs. We would
Yes.
love to hear from you.
We will give you some examples. Instead of America the Beautiful, America the Bigoted, something like that. Or instead of Party in the USA, Riot in the USA. We
Yeah.
need suggestions like that.
Or born in the USA, illegally immigrated to the USA. Or this land is stolen land instead of this land is your own land.
Right. We have
There's some
faith in you
examples.
guys.
Yeah, we have faith in you guys. Give us some good answers. We'd love to
And
hear
it
from
might
you.
just make it on a Will Witt comedy sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you make it, well, we might even drop your handle or your name in the credits of the
You
thing.
could be featured in PragerU content.
Yeah. So hold on to your butts. It's going to be pretty cool.
Tightly. Hold on to
Tightly.
your butts.
Okay? I am. Thanks so
clenched
much
this whole
Yeah,
time.
clenched. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We really appreciate it. And every day on weekdays, 5:30 p.m. EST, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, we stream this show. Thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Peace.